Hi, I'm Max, and I'm joined by Bobbycraft.
Hi everybody, thanks for having me, man, and I'm happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. And today, we're going to do some update to the Polar Express. But before we start, please be sure that you like and subscribe, and you can follow me on my Patreon for all the schematic download.
And if you'd like a copy of this map, you're more than welcome to follow me on Patreon and download a copy of that as well.
Okay, I will let Bobby take over from here to start build the locomotive. Good luck!
Awesome, thank you!
And a bit of a disclaimer, I have got some technical issues recording this video. If you are familiar with my channel, you would often see me using a replay mod angles to skip through repetitive parts. But for this occasion, replay mod doesn't seem to be so cooperative. So if you notice any awkward cuts, or a bit of footage that invite motion sickness, I do apologize in advance. With that out of the way, let's head back to the video. So, I decided to let Bubby do a bit of design update for our Polar Express locomotive. The tutorial will be on his channel, that I will link in the description. And in this video we're mostly going to focus on our carriages. But he also mentioned leaving us a bit of detailing in the loco. I see, a bit of piping detail missing there. We're going to use an industrial iron ladder for this. A few mismatching copycat seams. He did say that he'd leave a cabin interior for me, so let's work on this. Adding a bit of lighting. A cast iron boiler from Design and Deco for this firebox. A chute on the middle part. And a cuckoo clock for the gauges. And we'll use a hand crank as a regulator. Another set of train control. And that will be all for the cab. And the tender bunk, nice. And now we can start on the carriage build. Press Alt with the train casing in your hand to bring up the menu. Likewise, we'll go with the passenger bogey. And you need to place the bogey 4 blocks away from the coupler. 2 industrial iron blocks in the front, and 1 in the back, 2 on the side. I'll polish the deep slate slab at the corner here. So this will be a vestibule floor for the carriage. So I will then add some ladders and the stairs. Now let's continue down the length. Switching it up to girders. A shaft. And a basin. And now you can mirror the front onto the back. Next, the side floor, where we use the copycat panels. Now give it a strip of wood texture. And onto the inner wall of the carriage, in this case more like a pillars, we'll be using Alcron block variations. A pillar on the second layer, a brick on the top, and have it be a door frame. And I will start doing the roof by placing a cut calcite between each end, like this. And then have a chiseled deep slate in between them. And a cut calcite slab on the side. A layer of copycat panels on the top to make it look like a snow. And let's work on the end of the carriage. Place down a knuckle cobbler headstock and a buffer. We will then cover the arc room with a copycat slab and give it a dark metal texture, and continue the snow roof down here with more copycats. And lastly, the side wall. Here we will use the panels, leave a cutout for the door, and then cover the rest. And at the end here we will use a half panel instead. And the first layer, we will give it a light blue terracotta tile. An extra detail with a copycat slice. Click them until it's just thick enough to cover the wooden floor. And the second layer, let's give it a window first. The blocks I can use here are clear mangrove windows or a covered one. To me, I will mix them together. And then the rest of this layer will be an airstrip mangrove. And then the last layer will be a chiseled deep slate for the roof. And we are left with a door, which would be a copycat door. And I prefer to have it a covered window for the door. Now then we have to replicate all this onto the other side. And before we duplicate the car itself, let's add something that will be almost the same on every car. A lighting lantern at the ceiling and a funnel. And there we go. Now we're going to need 4 more cars like this one. And here we are. Now let's work on the interior. We'll hop onto the second car first. This car, including 3 more, will be a passenger car. Use a knit red wool for the aisle carpet. And for the light, we'll align it with the far end window. And the center one in the very center of the car. The rest of the ceiling above the aisle will be a brass casing. And more detail on the side of the ceiling. These funnels will be between the center block, and between the funnels we will have it be a small sculpture brick stairs. And we need to cover the red wall here. We will use a copycat board with a yellow brass wrapped look metal. Could add a slices above the window as well. Just a small slice. And now we still need a seats, but before we do that, let me do a backrest with a copycat headstock. Now we can place a seat. And that would be all for the passenger interior. Now we know in the film, the train don't really have a gangway, which is ridiculously dangerous, but here just in case you want to have it. It is mostly going to be a copycat board. And use a cold block pillar for the rubber texture. And there you go, a gangway. Let's move on to the next carriage. And here we are back at the first car. This is going to be a toy car, and I will change all the windows to a covered mangrove one. And now we're going to change the floor. Instead of stripped oak wood, I'm going to have it be a spruce. And for the aisle, instead of a red wall, I have it be a stripped mangrove, just to make it more worn down. And then for the rest of the interior design, it'll be just the same as the passenger, but I'm gonna leave out the light. And now the toy car is supposed to have a toy scattered all over, and if it have some hanging from the ceiling, pretty much a mess, which is now up to you how you want it to look like. But here I will show you my example of how I randomly place down the toys. Randomly placed in the dragon head here looks pretty good. And mechanical arms all also add a lot of element to the car. Alright, that should be all for this carriage, and on to the last one. We're going to make this one an observation car, and we need to break the back vestibule. And we're going to replace them with a carpet cap board. But now we need some placeholder blocks. This is going to be a bit tricky to place. And then you can continue the texture of the car onto the board. Now we have this level be just the windows. And in the door I'll have it be a large mangrove windows. Then on the side here, we can do a ladder up to the roof. Another temporary block here. And of course, a railing. I'm going to use the one from Design and Decor. A placard and a signal lamp in the back. And the roof also needs adjusting. Then we're going to have to change most of the windows on this car to my old dark oak windows design. And now let's go work on the interior. We're going to replace all the ochre wall with a layer tuff. A brass funnel twin and the sight. The lighting for the observation car is going to be more subtle, so we're going to have a ceiling lamp only on each end. The ceiling texture is going to be a cup like dripstone. And I have completely forgot about the floor. These also gonna have to go as well. And then change it to a smooth inlaid deep slate. The same ceiling decoration, but this is going to be a bit more monotone colors. The stairs, I'm gonna go with the cut deep slate brick stairs. The wall will be a dripstone pillars. Should make it look more like a curtain. And now let's place down the seats and the furniture. We can add a board here and make it a green tabletop. The scaffolding is the table. And I'm gonna place the lamp. Right click to toggle them on and off. And the train is all done. Well, this is a very long train, so before you assemble this, you should adjust some Create Mod config first. Press escape to bring up the menu and look for Create Goggles. Select the configure, gameplay settings, and then trains, and you want to change a max assembly length. I believe the default is 128. Yes, so type a larger number. Let's go with a 500. Should be just enough for this train. Alright, now let's glue the train. I see Bubby has already glued the loco and the tender. First position right next to the buffer. And then the same for 3 other cars. And the glue is all set. Make sure there's no intersecting glues. And there we go. And that would be all for this tutorial. And one last thing before we go on holiday, I will give a schematic download for this Polar Express for free, which will be available for everyone on my Patreon. Let's consider this a Christmas gift. And of course, Merry Christmas everyone. I hope you enjoyed the train and holiday. We'll see you soon.